Welcome to Taking Action. I'm Chris Colombo. With me always is Anthony Conover. According to this week's comments, the Stats King.
Oh, I got a new nickname. I'll take it.
And I got an ethnic slur Lord, but we have one Lord, and I pray to him. I mean, I feel bad for you people, but if you're looking for me to be a demigod, the world's in trouble. Anyway, moving forward, today's show, we're going to recap last week. I'm going to tell a little bit of a story that might interest you. We're going to go over my pick of the week and why I chose it, which is in a lot of the comments. And we're going to handicap this week the best we can. I'll be back with you in a moment. All right. Welcome back to Taking Action. Anthony, how about we start with recapping week 4 and my pick that lost?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. Most of us asking, why did I pick, out of all the games, the New England Patriots? Okay. Let's take a quick look at the San Francisco 49ers coming in. Kittle was questionable. He didn't play the game before.
Correct.
They're riddled with injuries. Purdy injured his back, had an MRI.
Yep, he had an MRI on his back. Deebo Samuel was questionable all week, too. He didn't play the week before either. He wasn't really expected to play. He somehow did. They even said on the broadcast they got him back a week earlier than expected.
A week earlier than expected. Okay. So that pretty much covers the San Francisco 49ers. Not only that, let's go into the San Francisco 49ers lost to the Rams.
Yes, they did.
And what is that?
That is a divisional game.
Okay. Is that important to football players?
They certainly are.
Okay. So they lost their first divisional game. And the St. Louis Cardinals are what? In that?
They are 1-0 in the division. They actually beat the Rams.
And they beat the Rams. And they lost to the Rams. So this week, who is the San Francisco 49ers playing?
They would be playing the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay. Which they're winning by a few more points than they should have, in my opinion, is boosting them up against the Cardinals this week, which is a division game. If they lose that, they're in a lot of trouble because the Cardinals will now be 2-0 in divisional games, put them really where they want to go, which is the most important wins in division and conference. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Obviously, you want to play well inside your division. You see those teams 6 times throughout the year.
And now that accounts more towards...
Yeah. I mean, that's like playoff tiebreakers and things of that nature.
Yes.
So definitely important.
So now the Patriots were 10.5-point underdog. Correct? There's a lot of points in a professional football game. Okay. Secondly, the way I handicap, I gave defense to the Patriots. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, great secondary.
Great secondary. Very good front four. Decent linebackers do their job. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, moving forward on the Patriots also. So I gave defense to them. Special teams I gave to the Patriots. Would you agree with that also?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's, closer, but, Patriots have a great field goal kicker. And we saw it in the game.
How great is that field goal kicker?
I mean, 63 yards, I want to say he made in this game.
And then 61, right?
I think it was 63 and then like 58 or something maybe.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah. No. Very
and plenty
good.
of leg left.
Oh, yeah. No.
So prior going in, I put special teams for them. Offense, with Kittle out,
Deebo
Samuel was supposed to come back that week, and Purdy with a back injury. I didn't think they were going to kill themselves. I thought that they would put it together, and with all those out, I still gave the edge offensively to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not 10.5-point edge.
No, I would agree with you there.
Okay. Now, getting back to the New England Patriots. So in my handicapping, it would be safe to say that special teams, which they showed they excelled at even in this game, and the defense played very, very good ball. Well, let's not talk about what happened. This is pre-handicapping, okay? Not only that San Francisco was very banged up coming into the game. What's we call it? The wide receiver wasn't supposed to be in, but he was.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle was questionable. He was out the week before. And then once again, Purdy had an MRI and he had an injury. Okay. So with that, I still gave the edge a little bit to San Francisco, maybe even a little more, but not 10.5. And the fact they banged up, I didn't think they would go, excuse the expression, balls to the wall, bang themselves up to beat the New England Patriots. And the Patriots took that game serious. They tried the best they could. Okay, now let's go what actually happened in the game and how I predicted it. Okay. First play of the game, I believe the center for the Patriots got knocked out.
Yeah, he was out for the rest of the game after the first drive.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this. That I did not anticipate. I can't anticipate an injury.
No, nobody can.
Nobody can. Okay. Now, your center is probably the second most important guy on the field. Would you agree?
I mean, yeah, the game is won at the offensive line. And besides the quarterback, the center is the only one that touches the ball every play.
Okay. And anybody knows anything about football, that it's 1 and 11.25 inches. Do you agree with that?
Yes, okay. I would.
So they lose their center, and they kick off, and then they stop the San Francisco 49ers. Is that correct? Okay. The second time, I believe that the Patriots got the ball, he fumbled.
That he certainly did. Ramondre Stevenson.
On the 20-yard line, is that correct?
I'm not exactly sure of the
Between
yardage.
The 20 and 25-yard line, there was
it was definitely in Patriot territory.
Nice Patriot territory.
Yes. Okay,
so they fumble now. San Francisco takes over. What did the defense do? Did they crumble?
No, they held them to a field goal.
Okay, now they held them to a field goal on the kickoff. Patriots, I believe, moved the ball, and they get a crack in the back.
Yeah, I don't
know if it's an order yet, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, they moved the ball okay, but they punt it. Okay. Now the Patriots, what do you call it? Come down. No, excuse me. He threw an interception.
Yes.
The third time they get the ball, first was a fumble, you get an interception. He throws an interception. Could be because the play before, I believe he lost his guard.
Yeah, I know Patriots definitely had a couple offensive line injuries in that game.
Out.
Yes.
They had no offensive line. He throws an interception. I believe between the 20 and the 30, again, they held him to a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so that's 2 plays in a row with mishaps that you can't predict, but they held them to a field goal within the red zone. Is that correct?
Yeah, they held them to field goals.
Right, so giving the defense to the Patriots wasn't a bad thing.
No, the defense played well.
Okay. Moving forward. All right, now, what goes on now? Okay, I believe that it's 6-0 at this point, and the Patriots try to go for a 4th down instead of kicking a field goal.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like a 64-yarder. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know how long the field goal would have been, but it was obviously it was obviously within his range.
Right. So it could have been a field goal, but instead they give the ball to the 49ers in great field position.
Yep.
What happens after that? There's a pick 6 also, and I think they score on that possession. Is that correct? Or was the pick 6 the second half?
All right. So actually, I have the game right here pulled up for us. So the fumble led to the field goal, and then the Patriot. No,
the interception went to another field goal.
So the Patriots punted it back to the 49ers. The 49ers drove down the field, resulted in a field goal, though. So they gave up the yardage, but they held them to a field goal.
Right.
Second possession, that's when the Patriots fumbled, got the ball in Patriot territory, still held them to a field goal again. And then that's when Jacoby Brissett threw the pick 6 interception, made it 13-0.
And then we're going to halftime, right?
Nope. Then the 49ers scored another touchdown. It was 20-0 Patriots.
That's when they brought Kittle into that touchdown.
Yes, that was the touchdown to Kittle that into triple coverage, he somehow comes
He went
away
into
with.
triple coverage. And the reason for that is I thought Kittle wasn't going to play. So did everybody else in the world. And he gets injured again.
Yeah, he came out of the game with a rib injury.
Rib injury. So to put Kittle in was ridiculous. They threw him into triple coverage. If you know anything about secondaries, why tight ends are effective. They come over the middle in short yardage situations and not afraid, and they don't get hurt as easy as a receiver would.
Yeah.
But in short yardage situations, it's very easy to create a gap because they're much bigger, wider, girth, and usually very tall and very strong.
Yeah,
So they can muscle them out.
They can high point it.
What?
They can high point the ball.
Yes. That's a better way to say it, but they can't muscle. They can muscle the defenders a hell of a lot easier than a speed, whatever. I didn't expect him to be in, but he got in and he scored that touchdown. Okay. But we're still in the game.
No, we are. I mean, 10.5 point spread.
Now, if you watch that game, the quarterback for the Patriots wanted to win. Matter of fact, I like the game to win outright. I cannot predict your center and your guard going down in the first or second series in a game. Can't predict it. I can't predict that the San Francisco 49ers will be already 0-1 in a division game playing another division thing that's 1-0 against a team to beat them in the division. Want to kill themselves to beat the New England Patriots. I can imagine. And we still almost got a backdoor win.
I mean, it was right there for the backdoor cover. The Patriots were at like the 30-yard line of the 49ers, and then they got strip sacked because once again, the offensive line was injured at that point in the game, late in the game.
And Bosa, right?
Yeah, Nick Bosa.
Bosa couldn't sack this guy, and he was in his face, and he had no opposition. He ran. The offensive line is gone. And that quarterback took everything they had to give and still tried to win.
And I think they said it during the broadcast, too. The 49ers don't usually blitz much. In fact, they're usually below the league average. I think in that game, they blitzed like 50% of the time.
Yes.
Because the offensive line was so messed up. Like, you might as well.
Which is a smart thing to do. But however, the poor thing to do is now you got Kittle's injured again.
Yep.
Purdy still has a back situation. And you lose the best middle linebacker. He's on a day-to-day in the league. Now they got to play another division game, which they're 0-1, and their adversary, which the St. Louis Cardinals, are 1-0 in the division.
Yeah, Arizona.
So I told you the reasons why. Special teams held up to what I was right. You couldn't ask for a better defensive game.
Well, they played well.
Yes, and we were still in the game at the end. Now, we lost the game by 6.5 points, if you include the spread. So if anybody asks me why I did it, I think everything I said made sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were, like I said, they were absolutely in it. I mean, even when it was 20-0, you're still in the game, like you said, with the 10.5. Yes. And then, you know, I mean, we mentioned.
I don't know how you people evaluate a game, how you feel, what they did the week before, where they're going. That's not what I do. But line was a good line, 10.5. We had defense, which I believe, and they showed it. And we had. And everything that possibly could go wrong went wrong, and they had no offensive line, and we almost got a backdoor. Now, almost woulda, coulda, shoulda. Forget the experience, remember the lessons, what I do. You people want to hold to that nonsense and criticize, but your picks up and bet your own. I don't care. You want to follow me, I will win by the end of the season in significant money. Because I can add my increments up, and I can play more than one play when it's there. But I'm not forcing an issue. Okay, let's recap the rest.
All righty.
Do you think that was a satisfactory explanation?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we were right there.
Okay.
You can't predict the unpredictable. All right, let's go back to
listen, I really can't predict. They did that beautiful play, and let me tell you that.
I know. I'm so mad that got called back.
There was no crack in the back block.
No, it wasn't. It was even the rules expert agreed that it was a bad call.
Bad call. And they were driving.
No, yeah, they were. I think that resulted in a first down too, and then I think they got the penalty, and then they went like 4 and out.
Yeah, so it took the steam out of it. That was a beautiful play.
I know,
and it went for nice yards.
Yeah, I think like I said, they gained a first down on it, so that was an important play.
Not only that, it would have changed the complexion of the game because at least there would have been another field goal. Took about a field goal range.
And then, like we were talking about before, the analytics are killing football now.
The other thing is, going into halftime, instead of going for it on 4th down and not getting it, kick the field goal. Take the points. It's early in the game. Don't make your defense feel like they're working for nothing and your offense get turned down. That I didn't expect. I expected to be a field goal game, and I thought they would cover, and they almost did with every possible problem that could happen. Now, the San Francisco 49ers have a pretty good division rivalry coming in. That's 1-0 in the division. They got to play them banged up.
Yeah, no, I mean,
because they wanted to crucify the New England Patriots. That's the way I see it.
let's go back to week 4, though, besides this one, obviously. Thursday Night Football, the Cowboys beat the Giants 20-15. News out of that, Malik Neighbors, I think, was in concussion protocol. Giants were keeping up with the Cowboys pretty well. I mean, we talked about it kind of at the beginning of the week. That spread was 5.5. The Cowboy kicker hadn't missed like ever from 50 yards.
It landed on 5.
And it lands on
75% of the money was there.
No, I think it was higher. It was like 85% of the money was on the Cowboys. I mean, okay. That is
what
something.
I saw from that was every time the Giants, their momentum was broken by things they didn't cause. The worst one was they have a huge gain, huge. They're in the red zone. They called the Giants for face masking when they got face masked. No one could figure that out. It's not like it was close. The Dallas Cowboy had the Giant by the face mask and was going like this. It wasn't subtle. And they called it on Giants. I never saw anything like it.
All righty. The Falcons beat the Saints 26-24. We have the Colts beating the Steelers 27-24. Nice. Joe Flacco came into that game because Anthony Richardson hurt his hip.
Joe Flacco played a hell of a game.
No, he really did.
That offense.
He really did.
It's just what the doctor ordered. I think Joe Flacco is still a warrior. I don't know how many seasons he's got left, but I tell you. I'm looking at Indianapolis this week, but they won't tell us who's playing quarterback. If it's Flacco, I like him.
He brought the Browns to the playoffs last year.
Yes, he did. I was surprised the Jets didn't bring him back last year, waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead.
Wouldn't have been a bad idea. The Texans beat the Jags 24-20. That game a lot closer than people thought it was, especially with the way the Jaguars have been
cover
playing.
Again, the Texans as usual. But the Jags played a good game. Go ahead.
The Vikings beat the Packers 31-29, and let me tell you something. The Packers put on quite the comeback. I think this game was 28-0 at one point, and the Vikings ended up winning by the skin of their teeth.
I have to tell you something. That's I think they won the last 12 or 13, the Packers. They pretty much owned that team, but that was in the Aaron Rodgers days. I'm not much on that kind of thing because you never want it was going to break. I think this was the unlucky 13, and they did it again.
The Bengals beat the Panthers 34-24. Andy Dalton has the Panthers putting up points. I mean, no doubt about it. They look a little bit better.
He's a gunslinger.
They look better. The Bears beat the Rams 24-18.
I keep going.
The Broncos beat the Jets 10-9 in a rainy game in MetLife.
That was a mud bowl. Go ahead, keep going.
We had the Buccaneers just killing the Eagles 33-16. That Eagles defense needs all the help it can get in the secondary.
It was a good game to watch. Go ahead.
Commanders 42-14 over the Cardinals. I mean, Jaden Daniels is looking like the rookie of the year so far. Looks like they made the right pick at number 2. Obviously, we covered the Patriot 49er game. The Raiders beat the Browns.
And then some.
The Raiders beat the Browns 20-16. Some news coming out of that. Star wide receiver Devontae Adams is looking for a trade out of the Raiders. He does not want to be there anymore. So we will have to see what that comes to. The Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10. The other big news coming out of that game, Xavier Worthy.
And the Chiefs didn't cover again.
No, I think that was 8 or 7. Yeah. But Xavier Worthy, Mahomes threw an interception. Mahomes going to tackle the interceptor, ran into Xavier Worthy's knee. I guess they're doing more tests, so it's not confirmed if it's a torn ACL or not, but obviously he won't be playing this week or for the foreseeable future.
A serious injury.
No, I mean, he's their number one option, and offense has
Never
struggled
mind that, we
already.
wish him a lot of luck. He's an
Oh, yeah,
athlete.
no, of
This
course.
earns his living. I hope he gets better, comes back and plays better. Okay?
The Ravens put a smackdown on the Bills in Sunday Night Football, 35-10. And then, of course, we had the ever-loving 2 Monday Night Football games
One
this
thing
week.
about the Ravens, Henry's fitting into that offense really,
Very
really well. They figured out how to run options and things with Henry and Lamar. They're getting in sync. I think it took a minute, but I still think they're a powerhouse.
He had like a 97-yard touchdown run against the Bills, and I believe it's only his 3rd longest touchdown run of his career, which is crazy.
Man is a savage. Yeah.
The Titans beat the Dolphins.
Beast.
Yes, he is. Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12 in the first Monday night game, and then Detroit beat Seattle 42-29 to end the week on Monday night.
All right, we recapped. I think pretty much everything went the way I thought it would, except the New England game we did not win. I intended to win. I gave you my reasoning. If you don't understand it or see it, we're watching different games. The only thing, the Indy came in when Flacco came in, and I think I went against Indianapolis. The rest of it, I think I nailed. Okay, so let's move forward to week 5. Anthony started off.
All righty.
One of the things that we're going to be doing, we're going to be starting to talk about totals and giving them to you and the moves thereof. Another reason, this 30-yard thing seemed to not increase offense, but increased field goals.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm starting to lean more towards kick teams with special teams and the better kicker also.
Yeah, offenses definitely seem to be down this season. All right, Thursday Night Football. That would be the Buccaneers at the Falcons. That game opened with the Falcons being 3-point favorites. They are now 1.5-point favorites, and that over-under stood at 43.5.
I like the Buccaneers. If I could have got them at 3, that mine moved very, very fast. Well, that might have been one of my picks or my pick. I don't know how much I like them as Falcons are now 1. I don't like them as much, but let's see what happens. I think that's going to be a close game, but I would have liked the Buccaneers getting the 3. Now it's down to 1. It might even be lower now. It might be down to pick them.
Yeah, division game, of course, so they
It's a division game.
usually play tough there.
Yes.
The Jets at the Vikings. I guess you can say that, but this game is across the pond. Good old London.
One of the people said that they like to bet the under in European or South American games. I think that was this year's the first time for Brazil, right?
Yeah.
But usually it's either England or Germany, correct?
Yeah, they played in Germany the last 2 seasons, and then London's been forever now.
Yes. I agree with that. I don't know what a team's like this. I mean, Aaron Rodgers could score. He was in a mud bowl last week, and we know the Vikings could score. But if you continue on that, I wish you luck. That's one of the things Anthony likes to do, but he surrendered it.
But Jets in this game opened 2.5. Vikings are now 2.5-point favorites. That over-under went from 42 to 41.
Okay.
So the under is trending, like we just discussed.
Well, 41 is still a lot of points. What did I say I liked here? I said London, so I didn't touch it.
London games are always up in the air.
I don't think the under is an unreasonable bet.
I mean, 9:30 in the morning.
It's the battle of the Jets.
Exactly.
Sam Darnold was a Jet.
Yeah, he was. He's former Jet, playing well now. Good for him. The
You got to remember, he didn't have an offensive line with the Jets.
No, or any
He took some
talent.
beat. Inherently, that even Joe Namath they destroyed.
Bad coaching, no talent on the team.
Yeah,
It's amazing what Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison will do for you.
it's a good
Wide
company
receiver
to be in.
Yeah, not too
if you're a
bad.
quarterback.
Chuck
Okay.
it up. It'll be you even called me when Justin Jefferson caught that touchdown pass.
Well, I know you're a big fan of Justin Jefferson. That was an impossible pass.
No, he's
Unbelievable.
He's something special. The Panthers at the Bears. The Bears opened up as 3.5-point favorites. They are now 4-point favorites. Over under went from 41 to 42.5.
I think that's a high under and over, but it's too early in the season for me to tell. I like the Panthers -4.
+4.
What's your thoughts?
Panthers +4. Yeah,
Plus
yeah.
four. Plus 4.
No, I do kind of like the Panthers in this game. I mean, the Bears haven't shown me anything crazy on offense, and Andy Dalton has the Panthers playing a lot better. There's no doubt about it. So
don't forget, as the season goes on, sometimes bad teams get better. People play for their jobs. They get used to their new coaches. They fall in a rhythm. They watch films. Let's go. And nobody really comes to really attack the Panthers because they were low man on the totem pole this year. I wish them luck climbing out.
The Ravens at the Bengals. Classic rivalry here. The Ravens opened up as 1.5-point favorites. They're now 2.5-point favorites. That over-under went from 47 up to 51.
That's a lot of points.
A lot of points.
You're talking about, two teams that could shoot it out. Well, 51's a lot of points. That game, I'm going to watch it, but I think the Ravens are in a groove. But you're still going against home team underdog, which I rarely like to do. But it's going to be a very good game to watch. I'm going to enjoy that game.
Yeah, I'll be locked in. I'll be dialed into that one. Another game I'll be dialed into, that would be the Bills at the Texans. Bills opened 1-point favorites. They still are, and that over-under stayed at 46.5 as well.
I got to tell you, I like the Bills in that game.
Just got blown out.
I don't like home team underdog, but I don't like to go against home team underdog. I like the Bills in that game.
Yeah, they just got blown out on Sunday Night Football, come back and play well.
That's the usual scenario. I just think the Texans, I just think the Bills are good, better. Right.
The Colts, who we are trying to determine who the quarterback is going to be. At the Jaguars, Jags opened as 2.5-point favorites. They're now 3-point favorites. Over-under went from 45.5 just up to 46.
If Flacco plays, and I confirm the Colts +3 may be one of my plays.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Or my play. I don't know. This is a week I would like to skip because we came off too bad. But let's see if we can get confirmation he's playing.
Yeah. The Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins opened up 1-point favorites. The Patriots are now 1-point favorites, and the over-under went from 36 to 36.5.
And what scares me about that game is they're missing their center and their guard. They have no offensive line.
Their offensive line is not very good.
I anticipate that to be a low-scoring game.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to say about the Bills and the Texans. Just came out, Von Miller, obviously the Bills pass rusher, suspended the next 4 games for the violating the league's substance abuse policy. So probably PEDs.
What's PED?
Performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, it could be anything.
Steroids, maybe? I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
So that is something to watch there with the Bills. The Browns at the Commanders, who just score 40 points a game, apparently.
Let me tell you something. Their main pass rush out against the Texans.
Let's
reevaluate that.
Yeah.
Jamal can dodge a few, and he's one of the few guys that have gotten to him.
Vaughn is someone. Vaughn is a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. The Browns at the Commanders. Commanders opened up as a 1-point favorite. They're now 3-point favorites. Over-under went from 42.5 to 44.
They're 4-0 or 3-1.
They are 3-1, the Commanders, believe it or not.
Who'd they lose to it?
You know what? Let me do this for you and check really quick. The beauty of having the laptop right in front of me. They lost to the Bucks week 1 of the season, 37-20.
At Bucks?
At Bucks. Since then, they won 21-18.
It opened 1 and went to 3?
Open 1, went to 3.
That means it's a pick 'em. Okay. But you're laying 3 points. Browns are one of my Cinderella teams that do better than what they're doing. They're kind of stagey. Commanders, I got to tell you honestly, I don't know if they're for real, but they are explosive.
I need one more week on them.
You do.
To determine. I just need one more week.
Quarterback isn't what he's supposed to be.
I believe he is, but I mean, they didn't punt in the Bengals game. They didn't punt. And then they put up 42 against the Cardinals. Obviously playing very well. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want Jane Daniels to be good. It's good for football. Just give me one more week of watching to make sure. Because, the Bengals defense isn't the best. Cardinals defense isn't really the greatest thing. The Browns have a good defense.
It was a 2-point move there. They were giving the edge to the Browns. Now it's what it's supposed to be. They're saying it's pick 'em. Browns have a little more seasoning. I got to tell you, the Commanders are playing good ball.
42 points on the road after putting up 38 points on the road.
That's no joke.
And now they're at home?
Yeah, but we saw the Saints do the same thing.
Exactly. That's why you always got to be careful. All right. The Raiders at the Broncos. Broncos opened up as a 1.5-point favorite. They're now 3-point favorites. That total went from 38 to 37.
I agree with that total going down. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it may be a game there's no winner.
Yeah,
They may play forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be in a Brazil time zone. Right.
Apparently. We have the Cardinals at the 49ers. 49ers opened 6.5-point favorites. They're now 7.5-point favorites. Over-under went from 48 to 50.5, which is a lot of points.
That's a surprising part of that. Means they expect the Cardinals to score points.
Yeah.
And 7.5 is a lot of points. I'm going to see if it moves. I'm considering the Cardinals in that game. Like I said, this may be a week I skip, but they banged themselves up last week. I mean, if they got the best middle linebacker in football right now, right?
The 49. Oh yeah, Fred Warner is a dog.
And who did they play? Who got hurt?
Fred Warner, day to day.
And let me tell you something. He can put pressure like nobody's business.
Great
Cardinals have
coverage.
an offensive line. Not the best, but at least they have this center.
I mean, yeah, can't be much worse.
No, okay. I'm going to see what happens. They are banged up. They put Kelsey back in the game after missing a game to get a rib injury. It was ridiculous. Okay.
We have the Packers at the Rams. Packers opened up as 3.5-point favorites. They still are. And that over-under went from 44.5 to 48.
I don't see why the total there is so high.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Why?
Can't figure that one out.
I can't figure it out either. But obviously somebody thinks it is. I think the Rams are just...
Both of Rams wide receivers are still out.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
And the Pack has a defense, and I don't see the Rams scoring. I like the under in that game.
Yeah, I do.
And I like the Packers in that game. Still home team underdog. You never know what could happen. But I got to tell you, 48.5 is a lot of points for a team with both their wide receivers out and another team that their defense is crushing.
The only thing though with that game too is the Rams are obviously at home, but it's LA, so they're kind of fickle. The fans and Packers fans travel very well. I mean, there's been multiple times where the Rams have had to use a silent count in their home stadium because the other team's fans come.
That would lend to the under?
Yeah, so I mean...
Unless they think the Packers are going to just take it away and score 48 points. All right, let's move forward to the next one, Giants Seahawks.
Yeah, that opened up as the Seahawks being 6.5-point favorites. That's down to 6, and then that over-under is stuck at 42.
I don't even evaluate that one. Keep going.
We have the Sunday night football game. Classic game here. Cowboys at the Steelers. Cowboys open as a 1-point favorite. Steelers are now 2.5-point favorites.
I couldn't get it fast enough, but I love the Steelers +1.
Yeah. Cowboys' number one pass rusher, Micah Parsons, it's up in the air right now, 50-50 if he's going to be able to play. I'm not going
by their injury reports. They haven't told the truth yet, but keep going.
No, yeah, just to throw it out there, of course.
Is there anything else with injuries?
No, I think that should be. I mean, that's the main concern, I would say, is Micah Parsons. Obviously, he's one of the better pass rushers in the entire NFL. So if he's not there, it definitely makes a difference.
The Steelers' defense is good.
I mean, TJ Watt, you got Micah.
They're good.
Minka Fitzpatrick, not Micah, Jesus. So
I'm going to watch that game and see what happens. And, I have a few things that I like this week, not love. The line move too fast. Go ahead.
And finally, that Monday night football game would be the Saints at the Chiefs. Chiefs open up 6.5. They're now 5-point favorites. Over-under went from 46 to 42.5. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, Xavier Worthy not going to be able to play in this game. The Chiefs running back is already hurt. And then Kelsey just honestly hasn't been involved in the offense too much this year so far. So
I don't know about all that, but I got to tell you the truth. I lean towards the Saints.
Yeah, I would have leaned towards it.
If that game goes to 7.5, and it could, Let's see what happens. Okay, I got a little story for you, and I'd like to go over some of the comments. I think I covered the ones on Patriots, and I didn't say I want to beat a dead Patriot, but I did. Listen, the people leave comments. The cursing, we could do without. The people are just running around angry. Get anger management. If you're ever going to be a successful gambler, you can't show that emotion. Forget the experience. Remember the lesson. And if the lesson is you think you shouldn't listen to me, you could get a world of knowledge. Okay, some of the comments I really liked. I'd like to thank everybody for their support. Okay, and the next story I'm going to tell you is for those that do support us and me. One gentleman says, Chris, what about the rice paper? When I was doing this before it was legal on the bookmaking end, we used to write on rice paper because we'd have a bucket of water. When the cops kicked the doors in, we would just drop the paper in the water and it would dissolve. So I'm sure we spilt our blood in the same mud, and I've had some laughs together, and we brought across paths because not many people remember the rice paper. I do.
That is
that is something. Yeah, I mean, I got a kick out of it. It's nice to those that remember when we started. He's probably been with the evolution from when we started in the rice paper and get faxing the work out and destroying it before they get in, and all the things we used to do, and run the wires. So if they kicked the doors in downstairs, the light went up upstairs. We would change that around. So the warrant was no good. There was a lot of things we had fun in the old days doing, and. It was a nice thing to see because not many people remember that in this day and age. Okay. All right. For those that question my motivation, why I'm doing this, when I say the most successful bookmaker in history, that name was given to me by the judge that presided in my case. Number one. Number two, because I was so good at it, they thought they could squeeze me, feds, state, whatever. And they wanted me to tell them tales about people, which I don't know how to do, and I'm not going to acquire a taste for it. And God forbid the day does come, and it has come a couple of times because of that, and the amount of money that I was making. And I was very good at it. I was very good with my clients. And also why she called me the most successful bookmaker in history is in a 30-plus year run, there was not one act of violence. And the way I treated my clients. So what they did inherently in bookmaking, it was a violation. They come in on a felony because it's not. And after you get so many violations, you get a misdemeanor. After so many misdemeanors, they give you a felony. Because of New York state law, if they come in and get you again, once you have a felony conviction, they don't give you the time on the first. You get a mandatory 2 to 4. Me, they tried that act. I beat them in court on some of the things I mentioned to you. And what they wanted to do was they wanted me to work for them, and I don't pass my sins to other people's family. And if I got a choice whether to be Judas or Christ, I pick Christ every time. It's not a criminal thing. So for my ethics and what I believed, they RICO'd me, and it took 12 years from start to finish. I spent 5 years in my house under house arrest, and I faced life imprisonment. And they originally told me, they said that when they came to me on multiple occasions to tell on people or try to find out, and I wouldn't, they said that they were going to put me out of business. Moving forward, they asked me when that didn't happen, they asked me, what would I do when gambling became legal? I said, well, I'll open a legitimate sports book. What's better than that? Nobody knows it better than me. And they says, well, we're going to make sure we give you a felony so you can't work in one. And when they came to me, they tried to put me in jail for life. It was a long fight. I don't complain ever. I wear a target on my back in many ways. Just the hand I'm dealt. I don't complain. Maybe some of you people out there should try that. You'll understand gambling much better. So my love of the sport, I paid for my blood, sweat, tears, money, and almost life. But the judge saw it my way, and I actually beat 71 counts of federal trial. It was 12 years from start to finish. I was put under house arrest on a bracelet. Seriously, I made a TV show making fun of them. And that partially, she gave me the time for. I was acquitted on every major charge. So they asked me, they says, well, what are you going to do now? So I says, you can't, it's going to be legal. This is number one. Number two, I can still do it illegally. But the judge was really fair in my case. And she was a hard judge. She saw what you did. And she said, my case should have never saw trial. She saw it was a witch hunt. I owe her the karma to do good things. That's why I work with kids. Anthony will tell you, I try to make as much of a positive impact as I can. Because when you save someone's life and she saved mine, she deserves good karma, number one. Number two, the answer to them, they says, now that we feel we've put you out of business, what are you going to do? I says, and I mean this in all my heart, and I've never been more determined to do anything else. And this is why I'm giving you the picks, and you can blame whatever. I want to win more than you. I said, I will put you out of business the way you put me out of business. And where does the money go? To you. So I'm going to take my time here. I'm going to regroup. Some things happen I didn't like. Some games are very fishy. I try to stay away from those with the money on. I made that mistake in Philadelphia. But I'm going to tell you right now, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I am fighting for you because there was a grave injustice, and the best form of revenge for me is success. Those with the ridiculous comments, keep them to yourself. People that like to curse, there's women and children watch the show, have some class, and the best cure for ignorance is to listen. If you attack me on something that makes sense, I'll learn from it. Just to go out and hate, the world's too full of that. Okay, this is Chris Colombo, Anthony Conover, signing over. God bless. I'm going to see how it evolves. This is a week that's significantly tougher, but it may be a week I skip, but it may be a week I may go heavy. Don't worry about the two we lost. I think last year I went 4-0, and then I lost 3 in a row and then didn't look back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not putting myself in position to lose 4. I'll make it up with either a money line or more picks, trust me, on money management. That's the reason of the juice reel. And if you want to argue with that, go ahead. But better off arguing with yourself, because it's always better to beat yourself. So long.